Discussing the top tracks from artists we love. Top 5s with Kxvu.
Right then, people, we are back inside the building here on Trickstar Radio for another edition of Top 5s. Out to everyone supporting this series. It was really, really fun to kick this off in a live setting last week. We actually did the top 5 Bush Baby tracks. Now, this is going to be a series that we continue on and keep switching up and changing, not necessarily just in the style, but in the genres, in the artists, and in the approaches we do. We've got a couple of very specific ones on the way that are designed specifically for 2020 releases for certain artists, and we've got loads of exciting bits to come with that as well. So out to everyone following the series over on the YouTube channel. Of course, you can follow that, youtube.com/CubCamTV. If you're watching the video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. So today, let's get into a discussion about who we're going to be doing a top 5 for. Now, this is an artist duo that have essentially been on top of the game now for what's looking like a good sort of 6-7 years. They've been in that sort of upper echelon of UK dance music. It is, of course, Disclosure. Now, they have been on absolute top form this last year with an incredible new album. The year before that, they put out an incredible EP as well. Over the course of that sort of 6-7 year period, they've had numerous top 10 hits, numerous number ones as well, I believe, and they really have been a dance music act which have changed the landscape of dance music in this country, coming with a much more kind of fluffy, kind of bubbly approach to dance music, making it not necessarily always entirely about how hard your drums hit. They're much more about the rhythmic side of things and interesting melodic influxes as well. So we're going to be getting into this listing as we run through my top 5 Disclosure tunes here on Breakfast with Kxvu. So the first track on today's listing is the only feature off the brand new album. This is how highly I rate Disclosure's catalogue. I love what they've been doing on the new album. However, there are 4 tracks stronger than the tracks on the album for me personally. So this is number 5. This is an absolute banger, a tune which has taken the world by storm this year since it dropped. This is, of course, Doa featuring Fatimata. It's going to be an absolute banger, so let's get into it. That one coming from Disclosure at number 5 on today's listing, Doa, bracketed with Mali Mali featuring Fatimata Diawara. Amazing tune and the only feature off their brand new album on today's listing. So we're moving forward now into track number 4. Number 4 on this placement is a tune which took the UK by storm. It was a huge hit and possibly the most kind of subtle yet catchy of the listing today. Now this one is alongside a fantastic vocalist, Eliza Doolittle. This one goes by the name of You and Me. It's an absolute banger of a tune again, showcasing just how good Disclosure's vocal manipulation is and how good they are rhythmically, giving you all the vibes pretty much that will turn a dance of any kind into a good place to be, which is why this is placed 4th on today's listing. Absolutely loving doing this top 5 series, so please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and of course downloading that Trickstar Radio app as well. Let's get into number 4 on the listing. This one coming from Disclosure, of course, You and Me featuring Eliza Doolittle. Oh yes!
So please don't let go, 'cause you know.
Right then, back inside the building. It's 36 minutes past 9 here on Trickstar Radio. We are running through the Disclosure top 5s listing. That one, You and Me, featuring Eliza Doolittle. So we're moving forward now onto track number 3 of the listing, and this is where it gets a little bit more sticky. Purely because Disclosure have had so many bangers over the years, for me to narrow down this top 3 has been very, very difficult. Getting it down to 5 was very difficult. I've had to leave out a few favourites, which I'm sure people will be upset about. There's no Latch in this listing, for instance. There's no Running, featuring Jessie Ware. So yeah, it's going to be a surprise, I feel. This next one, however, one of the biggest, more dance floor orientated tunes they've put together. A much more techno flavour with this one, a lot more acidic kind of energy going on. And this one is, of course, When a Fire Starts to Burn. An absolute banger and could well be rated higher by other people on today's listing. But for me, this one makes number 3. So here we go. We're going to get into this one right about now. Here on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio. Out to all the locked in crew each and every time, people. Oh yeah.
When a fire starts to...
Just gone 39 minutes past 9 here, Trickstar Radio. We are moving into number 2 on our listing. That one at number 3, When a Fire Starts to Burn. Now, these 2 tunes here are without a doubt my favourite 2 Disclosure tunes. I love the pair of them, and actually choosing a favourite out of the 2 was very, very difficult for me. So, for those that know me, I feel this will be quite an obvious one. However, we're going to get into number 2 on the listing now. Now, this one, for me, was the tune that made Disclosure who they are today. And obviously they'd been kind of floating around beforehand, but this was the tune that really broke them out into a much more kind of mainstream audience. A lot more people found out about them because of this tune and the music video that went with it, which was kind of like a viral clip of kind of a house party, essentially. I won't say more than that. But this tune is an outstanding piece of work, and it still holds up in the dances to this day. Disclosure at number 2 with What's in Your Head. It's an absolute banger. It's timeless, and oh my word, I can't wait to get into it this morning. Out to all the locked in crew each and every time. This is Top 5s here on Breakfast with Kxvu. Right then, people, we are moving down the list rapidly, and I am loving this new format of Top 5s. Being able to do it live here on the show is fantastic. So we're going to be getting into the number 1 on today's listing, and I could not be more excited to present this one as my favourite Disclosure tune. It was a tune that here on Trickstar Radio was being played regularly during the sort of first 6 months of rotation. Even though it was already a year old by that point, it was a tune we could not keep off the listing. And this is pretty much, for me, Disclosure showcasing how good they are. Reworking a classic kind of swing ragtime vocal with a re-recorded version of said vocal and building this phenomenal soundscape around it. This, for me, is without a doubt, in hindsight, Disclosure's strongest ever performance. This is where angels fear to dread, and this one tops today's top 5 listing. So out to everyone who's been locked in for this one, don't go anywhere. Make sure you do subscribe to CubCamTV and, of course, download that Trickstar Radio app. We're inside the building, people. Oh, yes.
Discussing the top tracks from the artists we love. Top 5s with Kxvu.